No way! No way! It's Tangle Tower! I have the wrong light on. Oh, this always happens. It's only when I turn on the actual stream that I see that the webcam looks wrong. I should set this up beforehand. Okay, we're here though. We're here. We're doing it. Okay, it's Tangle Tower time, everybody. We did Detective Grimoire in preparation so we could play this game, Tangle Tower, which is a follow-up. And apparently much more involved than Grimoire was. Don't get me wrong, I love Detective Grimoire. It was a very short and simple game, though. By new playthrough, do I mean you played it already, or does it mean you're playing this as a new game? It's a new game. Also, it's nice to see you, but yeah, it's like it's a full-on new playthrough for me. I've never played it before. I put like new playthrough quite often in the title just to go. This is a good starting point. You're not halfway through like a stream series. If you want to start watching, you can. This is a good place to jump on. That's what I mean by that. To be fair, not many of the games I stream are that long anyway, but it is what it is. Bro is canonically older. I am Itamar. I'm 28 now. I don't think I've updated my Twitter bio or anything. Should I need to do that probably. Yeah, let's fix that. 28, dude. Whoa. Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. For anyone unaware, I had a very nice time. I went up to Newcastle and I saw a play, and I had lots of good food. Thank you for the follow, Alan Yates. Much appreciated. I didn't really tweet much on my birthday because I was out and about. I was just enjoying a nice day out with my wife. So you know, don't tell Elon how old you are. I'm gonna fight Elon in a Denny's parking lot. Anyway, 28. I've been watching since I was like 12. What? Time passes at a unerring pace, my friend. It only feels like yesterday I started making videos on YouTube as a little 15-year-old. It won't be long until I am twice as old. It's crazy to think about. Time is a weird thing. It's true. It's so true. I had a really nice day yesterday. I've uploaded some pictures. I've got more to upload. Newcastle, that's a perfect location to fight Elon Musk. I would. I mean to get this game. I missed the Grimoire stream, but this one's been on my wishlist for ages. Yeah, Grimoire was a lot of fun. I found it really, really funny as well. What do you mean we're halfway through January? I know, right? I started watching your channel when I was as old as you are right now. Wow. It's crazy, isn't it? Like how time passes. Thank you for all the well wishes as well. Level 1 Crook, much appreciated. Yeah, so for those of you who didn't see the Detective Grimoire stream, we got that over and done within about 2.5 hours. It's a short game. It introduced us to the character of Detective Grimoire. He was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure the next game brings back another character from Grimoire. I want to say, from like screenshots and trailers I've seen, and I think I've tried the demo as well. I want to say that the green hair character is the same one from Detective Grimoire. It's Sally. Although maybe kind of reinvented a little bit. I don't know. We'll get into it. I'm looking forward to it. Plus, there's another Detective Grimoire game coming this year, I think. Is that right? Is it this year? One would hope. It says coming soon on the page. In fact, it says coming in 2024. They missed that one, apparently. But that's okay. We wait for good things. The Mermaid Mask is the next one. Or is it the Mermaid's Tongue?
This place gives.
I think they renamed it. Okay. SFB games work fast. I know they just dropped Crow Country as well last year, which I need to play at some point. Crow Country is a survival horror game in the style of the Final Fantasy VII little plastic people kind of thing that it does. I don't know how else to explain it, But it looks really, really cool, and I keep meaning to get around to Crow Country. I don't even have it. Wait, what? I thought I owned it. There's so many games I've bought, but I've meant to get around to. There's a lot of survival horror games. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've bought that, and it's on my list somewhere. I haven't actually bought Crow Country. I thought I did. I'll get around to it. I think it's Hollow Body that I have, that I need to play. That's the one yeah. There's a lot of cool survival horror games I need to get around to. Same issue with Conscripted. Oh yeah, Conscript. Yeah. I have that one as well. It's both Conscript and Hollow Body that I need to get around to. And there's probably other ones as well. I'm terrible for this. Anyway, I think I just want to get on with it. It's nice to see so many people coming in today. I'm really excited. While we listen to Mist music, I'm going to boot the game up. Although I probably need to pause this. As much as I love Mist music. Let's get on to here. Survival horror isn't my genre, but I got Crow Country because I love SFB games and want to support them. Hey, absolutely. Tangle Tower. Immediately, the vibes are exciting. Let's get into it. Ooh, pretty. Oh. Tangle Tower. Mid-afternoon. And this game is fully voice acted too, I think, isn't it? Lake's Edge. Oh, wow.
You ready, Sally?
Rimore, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
Just checking.
Do you have the map?
Yeah, but it's basically blank. Did you read the case file? What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. It's really not a lot to go on. Did you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it on the way to the crime scene.
He's as prepared as Phoenix Wright. Murder victim Freya Fellow died whilst painting a portrait of Flora Fellow. Location Flora's tower. Flora was present as she was posing for a portrait. Freya Fellow was found lying on her back with a single stab wound on her chest. No weapon was found at the scene. The subject of Freya's unfinished painting is holding a knife. The red color on the tip of the knife is not paint. It was discovered to be blood. I have a small painting on a scrap of paper. A few notes have been written on the back. Nowadays it goes by Tangle Tower, but it's actually a pair of towers connected by a mansion at the base. It is surrounded by a circular lake. The water is an unusual mix of colors. The lake is enclosed by sheer, pale cliffs that are too steep and smooth to climb. Tangle Tower is currently home to both the Fellow family and the Pointer family. Also, let me know how the volume is, because it seems like it might be a little loud on my end. I'm trying to keep the voices loud and the... Oh, I did not save my... It didn't actually save my preferences. Alright, that's what I meant to do. I meant to keep the voice volume high. That's what I wanted it to be. That's what I thought I had it on. Now it is on that. Okay. Great. And we have our map. Ooh. Oh, I like the little ones. That's cute. All right. And I guess it's similar to last time. Okay, but it's similar, but a little bit different.
It's a bird bath.
It's a bird bath.
Is that just rainwater? Looks a little weird.
The birds seem to like it.
They're even singing a little tune.
Interesting.
Please don't do that.
Okay.
The ground's moist, but it's not muddy. Wonder how often it rains here.
I cannot believe how exciting this murder investigation is already. That's a big lake.
It's kind of purple. Looks poisonous.
I think it's just water.
Yeah, water with poison in it. It's just an archway, but it seems a little ominous. Like walking through it might give you bad luck.
Too late.
Okay.
Do you think anybody's watching us from one of those windows?
Maybe.
There's a stream VOD from one of the animators talking about their work in this game and showing some unused animation. Oh,
Let's
neat.
wave just in case.
I might have to check it out afterwards.
I tied the boat up to the mooring post, so it'll stay put. For
That's
now.
good.
Probably.
Loving the confidence.
Interesting how both games start with a little boat. Okay.
And it's full of the same weird water that was in the lake.
Any fish in there?
Not a single one.
Hmm?
Although there is something in there.
Ooh.
It's a cassette tape.
Ooh.
Or it used to be.
Oh. Cassette tape. Damage tape, though. The ink on the label is blurred and illegible. I love the subtle changes to Sally's voice in this one. Oh yeah, it seems like it's similar, but a bit less one note for the character.
It's a stone carving. Wonder how it got cracked.
I think it's supposed to look like that. It's an egg.
Okay.
What animal is that?
Hawk. Bear. Lizard.
Right, of course. A hawk bear lizard.
We all know about hog bear lizards.
It's a bandstand.
Bit small for a bandstand.
It's a one-man bandstand.
It's a statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish monster
Playing a harp.
playing a harp.
Playing a harp.
Hang on a second.
Ooh, it's a puzzle.
This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Talk to a lizard. How dare you?
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
I was thinking that. Doesn't seem like this puzzle could be solved. Thank you for letting me
Come
know.
back later. It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Okay. Interesting.
This is some garden.
Do the plants all look a little strange to you?
I mean, immediately I'm drawn to the fact that it's a bipedal sort of amphibious lizard creature, because that was in the last game.
It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say, too quiet?
It's not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
Yeah. Are you related to Boggy in some way? Okay. Well, that's the gardens. Main entrance. Tangle Tower.
Oh.
What?
Oh. There's an O on the
There's an
floor.
O on the floor.
Oh yeah, Tangle Tour.
That's well, same brain cell.
Twir. Oh.
What?
Oh.
Tangle-
I mean, I like to read signs that are broken. I when I was in Newcastle, I saw a I don't know if anyone knows the British shop Primark. It's like a sort of cheap clothes shop. But the P and the K were like blacked out, so it just looked like Rimar. And I was just like, look, it's the Rimar shop. I don't know, I love that kind of thing.
Should we ring the doorbell?
Like Free Shavak could do, exactly.
Why would we not? It's a little melody.
Is it the same melody that the birds were singing?
Do you think he'll start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Love that.
Don't think it's locked.
Oh, that means we can just walk straight in, right?
I'm pretty sure that's the rule, yeah.
Alright. Ooh. I like how it's different shapes as well. Grand Hall.
It's a big glass tube filled with water.
Why not?
There are weeds in there. And sand.
It's an aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing living in it anymore.
Ooh.
It's not locked.
Interesting. We've got a lot of places to go.
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
Presumably.
This one has a big P.
That's probably important.
How very perceptive of you.
A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion?
Of course. I feel like we need to find... Oh my goodness, look at this. Lots of places to go. We need to find the... I mean, it's pointing me to here. Presumably, someone to get the main information from, or investigate the initial crime scene. So let's do that. I love the little map. That's great. Flora's Tower. Interesting.
The outline of Freya Fellow. Looks like she fell onto her back. There's a single patch of blood, right in the middle. No real signs of a struggle.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again.
It's almost like the painting itself killed her. The red color on the tip of the knife is not paint, but discovered to be blood. Found lying on her back, single stab wound on her chest. It is odd.
There it is, the unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it?
Looks that way.
I mean, the painting doesn't appear to be damaged at all. It's not like someone stabbed through the painting. Curious.
I wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy. Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
Maybe.
There's something wrong with the crime scene.
Oh, the
And
music!
something really weird about the murder weapon.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
I love that they brought back the music from Detective Grimoire. Actually, it's such an earworm. Okay. Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with red paint. Oh, it's tipped with blood. Because Freya put it there. I mean,
Flora's portrait is holding a knife
That's what
tipped
I'm-
with blood because Freya put it there. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
oh. Okay. I like how it gives you more specific clues now.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with red paint because Freya put it there. Nope.
That's more wrong. Okay. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out something. One thing is wrong here. Is it okay to nudge you to check some places of interest? If I'm stuck, yeah. Or if there's like something that is easily missable. I mean, I feel like this is correct. Is Freya was going to eat it? No, because it stabbed Freya. But Freya stole? No. But it was removed from the sea? No. And I'm just start with underthinking it. Okay. Was the painting somehow involved in attacking Freya? That's the question we're asking. Okay. So, let's just check these to see if there's anything else going on with it. I'm almost more confused now that it's saying there's one thing wrong. I mean, Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood. Unless it's Flora Fellow. Maybe the last thing is that it was removed.
Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood because Freya put it there. That's not right.
There's blood on the knife in the painting. What could that mean?
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood, but it was removed from the scene. Almost. Maybe just...
It is the last thing then, I think.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
I feel like that's a bit of an assumption, isn't it?
What?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting? Not by the woman from the painting, but by the painting itself.
Mm-hmm. Freya was
I love the
standing
animation.
right up by the canvas when she was killed. There's blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
See any other knives around here?
Mm.
Case closed.
The case is not closed. And even if you were right, where does that leave us? A painting can't be a murder suspect.
Tangle Tower. An unfinished painting. Continue. Let's go. All right. We need to chat to this. Oh my goodness. You are scary.
Flora, fellow.
The hair though, Christ.
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still in some distress.
We need to ask you a few questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
Nothing.
Mm.
What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now.
Okay. Is Lady a vampire? I mean, she stood at an open window in daylight. So that's something I would
Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora?
not say for now.
I don't really know anything about you at all.
That's funny.
I think that's the way she likes it. We'll just have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Freya was painting your portrait yesterday. Is that right?
I feel judged.
Was this something you had planned with her ahead of time?
Was there something special about yesterday?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope.
Mm.
But at least we can say we tried.
Well, statement. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get anything out of her anyway. So we need to talk to other people.
Is that an egg? An egg with bird feet.
Exciting.
It's also covered in gemstones.
Is it a puzzle?
What a completely ordinary object.
It sure is.
I think
Okay.
it's a container for something.
In Jonathan Harris's stream, he showed some of the inspiration boards that SFE send him for each of the characters. One of Grimoire's was Guybrush, specifically from Curse of Monkey Island. I can see that. He has some Guybrush-esque
Those gems
qualities.
look like they come off.
And he's got the sort of the poofier hair from that sort of era of Monkey Island as well. I like it. Swap the positions of the gems. Take the egg to see a clue on the back. Oh. Oh. Okay. So this needs to be a purple, and that needs to be a yellow. The two pinks are connected by this one, which I think is that. Okay, there's a thick line with a little bump in it that connects a blue and a red, and the red is with a little chimney. Okay. Alright, and then you got a blue that curves round into a purple. The blue's at the long end. And purple. Alright. You got this one, it's a green at the long end with a diagonal to a red. Okay. I might have moved a blue that I didn't want to move. I may be moving things I shouldn't have moved. Hold on, let's double check. No, actually that's fine, that's fine. Okay. We got this sort of square one, which is yellow, the longer bit. We want to move this yellow. Wait, no? Is it that yellow? It's really late where I am. I'll continue watching this YouTube video. Have fun. Take care. It's nice to see you as always. Oh yeah. Okay, I need to swap this one and this one. That's because I need that blue there. That's right, that's right. Okay, I think this is mostly correct. What am I missing? The curve goes long to purple. Diagonal goes long to red. Those two pinks are connected by the long one. Green and yellow are connected. Oh, actually, they're the wrong way around, I think. Yeah, alright, that's it now. Yeah, you're right.
That's the one.
Yep, that's it.
Hey, not bad. Did it unlock?
What's
What's in there?
inside?
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Oh.
Well, I'm not leaving without a clue. An empty egg is a clue, right?
I guess it's a clue. Once unlocked, the egg can be opened. It's currently empty. The lining of the egg is a soft velvet-like material. The egg is supported by a stand made of brass. It rests on 3 strange feet with pointed claws. I suppose even though it is empty, it's a clue of some description.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Okay.
Is that a gramophone?
I think so. Except it's got a tape deck instead of a turntable.
It's also got a big crack down the middle.
Okay. It's cassette tapes. Interesting. Can I use this perhaps? I mean, it's damaged, but
What about the cassette tape?
yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. Pink.
Oh, there's one there. It's also cracked down the middle to Freya.
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone? Yeah, we could give it a go.
Let's try this one. Okay.
It's piano music.
Okay, interesting. Try this one. That's creepy.
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
Is that the same tune again? Like the tune that the birds were singing, the tune of the bells? I feel like it could be. How curious. Right. Those feel like the most important things to look at in this room right now.
We're at the top of the tower, right?
Sounds like something out of Silent Hill.
I think so.
I could hear that.
Why?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's nothing. Half the room is a big open window.
I don't know if you can call it an open window. It's more like the sudden absence of wall.
I like that. Well, let's start exploring other places. The workshop. Ah, here's somebody. Hello.
Sir? Can you hear me?
Does anyone want to talk to us?
I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
I wonder how
If you would,
Sally
Mr. Fellow, we really need to
like
ask
started
you
working
about the
for
murder.
Grimoire.
I must say I'm
Or working
rather
with
jealous
Grimoire.
of you two.
Oh, yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
You may have learned a little bit much about that, I think.
So, Felix, what exactly do you, do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer / treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the Fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is,
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but what about Freya?
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help, but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Well, that doesn't tell me
That
anything.
Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
Are we
It's
done
a
here?
simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right, fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora, too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
Okay, interesting. I think we'll get a challenge at some point, but we'll see what he thinks of everybody.
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of three. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? just the way she is.
Lone Wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
mean, of course.
humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know.
All right.
You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
How
After
are you
what?
related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
What about her
Okay.
inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was
if
around
that was the
3
case.
years
Well, I mean, I've
old.
just started.
She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower.
Okay. What do you think of this?
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
Interesting.
Flora's quite fond of that old thing. It's in poor shape, though.
Do you know what happened to it?
Can't say I do. It's unlike her to leave paint on the brush.
I think we'll give her a pass, given the circumstances.
Ah, yes. So we shall.
Does Florin normally keep something in here?
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
Why not just ask her?
I feel like if somebody keeps something locked away in a ceramic egg, it's because they don't want to be asked about it.
Rules to live by.
Fair enough.
It would have been a beautiful painting. It's rather a shame Freya was unable to finish it.
Nothing about it seems strange to you.
Well, all these modern paintings are slightly strange.
I love the little
aren't
noises
they?
this guy makes.
The emotion of the piece taking over from, say, anatomical accuracy.
What about the knife in Flora's hand?
A knife? That's what you see?
You don't?
Well, as I was saying, Freya's artistic approach distorts.
Oh yeah, I'm liking the
shapes. Hard to say
the
exactly
different
what
things
we're
that everyone has
looking
to say
at.
so far. Well, at least this guy. But if it's the same for everybody, then I'm gonna be talking to people all day.
Rather ugly, isn't it, as far as statues go? Years of wind and rain have not been kind to it either.
Do you know what it is? The creature, I mean.
It's connected to the Remington family history in some way, but I can't recall.
I actually had a thought with this. I'll discuss it in a moment after I've gone through these.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
Okay, that looks like it might belong to Poppy as
What's
well.
this?
It's my case file. It's how I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mean to say you're bound by the limits of what's written in this little document? Sounds dreadful.
I found it comforting.
Charming, isn't it? Yes. Built by the Remington family originally. Dear Flora's father and his associates.
But now it's owned by you? By the Fellow family?
The Fellows and the Pointers have both come to claim a certain degree of ownership.
And who named it Tangle Tower?
Flora chose the name.
What does it mean?
I think it was her intention that it mean nothing at all. Something of a fresh start.
Okay.
From what?
This really isn't for me to say, but she had some kind of disagreement with her siblings.
Oh,
After
really?
they moved away, Flora changed the name of the house. I
Okay.
think perhaps she hoped it would make them feel unwelcome, yes, less likely to come back.
That's kind of extreme.
Yes, it is rather, isn't it?
Okay. I think there's anything else interesting in
A
here
hammock.
then.
It's kind of worn out.
I would politely describe it as lived in.
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
Okay. Wood carving of a man holding a sword. The model has been hand painted, but the paint is not skillfully applied. Yellow, blue, black, and white paints were found nearby. Where did the red come from then?
Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it. What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
Oh, okay. Use the treasure map to discover the combination for the chest's padlock. So, there is a X that is being stood on, and close by is a sea serpent, a rock, and in the distance a tree. So it could well be this. Very easily, in fact. I don't think it could be anything else. So, 3I? Wait, no, sorry. 4I, because you're looking from this angle. 4I looking north. I? Yeah. I4. North.
Nothing.
Oh.
Did you check the treasure map for clues? And what about that painting on the chest itself?
Is that not right? I4 north. That feels right. Unless it's not. Ah, there are birds as well. That there are. And the birds are either in front of or... Ah, I see it. That's a red herring. It's actually looking at this angle, I think. Because when you look at it, the sea serpent is actually closer than the rock. That is something I thought about, but I was like, maybe not. I think it's looking in this direction. So we want to go H6 looking west.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. What was in the box?
More wooden models.
Okay.
These are a little different to the one on the desk.
Okay. A child with green hair, a woman with grey hair, a model resembling a red and white bird, and a broad-shouldered man. Well, there's the red paint, at least. Okay.
It's a drinking horn.
Is it full of ale? Or mead, maybe?
Right now, it's just full of dust.
Oh.
Oh. Puffer fish?
Yes, it's also a lamp, for some reason.
Why not?
A hammock.
I would politely describe it.
A lot of redundant light sources in here.
That's a massive conch shell. Do you think there's a little crab living inside?
I hope so. It's a magic lamp. Can we summon the genie?
If we get really stuck, sure.
Alright. This one's locked at the minute. It seems like more will unfold as time goes on. Hold on. If I could go back in here for a second and check my notes. Are there notes by location now, or does it not work that way in this one? I don't think it does work that way in this one, does it? Unless I've missed it. Either way, let's just keep exploring. Oh, this is Freya's room. Okay.
That painting is really something.
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Freya enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
They dropped that along with the sus meter.
The
To be
atmosphere
fair,
of
the
chaos and
suspicion
oppression.
thing was kind of useless anyway. I feel like it just wasn't really useful.
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
Okay. Photo of the painting. Abstract, huh? Piece of adhesive tape looking at lines have been drawn with black ink around the edges. Alright.
It's a little wooden box for paintbrushes.
To the casual observer, maybe.
Let's have a little look.
They're not real paintbrushes.
Okay.
Looks like they're part of some kind of lock mechanism.
This is interesting. Sort the brushes to the correct order. Arrange the paper to find a clue. Okay. These rotate. I don't know if they do. Okay. Does it feel like together like this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so from short to long. Okay. Orange. Okay. Hold on. This is like a scale of lengths, it looks like. Wedges seem to be... Okay, hold on, I think I get it. Right, I think I understand. Each one is a different one. So it shows, it depicts length. So the first one is an orange one that's short. The second one is some kind of green one. Third one is pink handle with a wide thing. So it's potentially, it's either one of these two. So it could be this one, or it could be that one. We know that this one is a sort of wedge shape, so that one's there, and that one's tall. Could be this.
Nothing.
Did you find a hint on this? It looks like a ripped up jigsaw.
Okay. So it could be this way around as well.
I did it.
There we go.
What do I win?
Not bad. What was in the box?
Just a photograph. Well, most of a photograph.
A photograph of two young girls, one with red hair, one with green hair. Photo has a large piece missing. It seems to have been ripped off. Fascinating.
A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate. It's Freya's bed. A little bit messy.
It's a perfectly healthy amount of messy.
Drawings taped up on the wall.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people standing together in a garden.
All right.
One of them's holding a red rose.
Okay. Fifi.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
Ooh.
Not the kind of lamp I choose for my bedroom, but fair enough.
It's cool. Looks like old mining equipment or something. Freya's bear.
Looks pretty depressed.
I think that Sally's not just a straight woman to Grandma stomping down his wild ideas, but equally often joins her, encourages him. Yeah,
He's
that's
had
fun.
a rough couple of days.
I like it.
It's a fish, I think.
It's certainly fish-like.
I think it looks more like a whale.
Fine, it's a whale.
Could be a whale.
Could also be a shark.
That too. Alright, well, this is giving us some interesting information. Let's go over to here. Ah, hello. A library. Who are you?
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there
That's
must
a great
be something
design.
I'm still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Wow.
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me know.
Great.
Speaking of which, You have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes.
Is that right?
Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
Hypothesis? About the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects.
That's right.
And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator.
All right. That's great.
You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Fifi, you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What
All
made
right.
you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Wow.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
Okay.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Oh.
I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
Oh, that's...
She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower.
Okay.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
Okay.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
Okay.
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity
Wasn't the age
for
listed as something
interpreting
else?
nonverbal communication.
Oh, did I
And
misremember?
How long has Flora been non-verbal?
Yeah.
She's always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered
Case
a
file
great
is
loss.
59. Yeah, I thought it was
Something she's
50
been unable
something.
to move beyond.
Well, that's curious. Hmm.
Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and
Okay.
assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence.
Okay.
Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No? Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh.
Okay.
Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct.
All right.
Name, Fiona Fellow.
Ah,
Age,
Fiona.
19. Profession, amateur microbiologist. Likes, the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes,
All right.
kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
Oh, okay.
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
Okay, that's
And what
interesting.
about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent. Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became 1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Okay.
Sounds like quite a team.
Interesting. We have a lot of things to talk about here.
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
Damn.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her. I require facts.
Oh, there's something
What do
said
you
there.
know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell.
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene,
Apart from the one in the painting.
which, as a mere abstract representation, does not count.
Hmm.
Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife.
Not yet.
This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette tapes.
What happened to it, though?
It has been left underwater for an extended period of time.
Right, but why?
I do not know why. The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
I think I'm getting there with them.
Working on it.
We are.
My thinking is it's to do with the tune we keep hearing. We heard it on a bell, and we heard some birds singing it. I believe there may be more to this. There was the piano. The piano had it as well, I think, maybe, and then yeah. It's definitely something to do with them, I think.
Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from looking at it once?
Of course.
Hmm.
That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings to be found
Okay.
in the garden and in the Grand Hall.
Yeah, what's the
yes.
deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs.
I guess.
The red paint on the brush is not paint. It is blood. Same for the palette.
So Freya added the blood to the painting herself?
Or blood got on the brush and palette some other way?
I do not know the answer. The gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya.
Why is it
Or
cracked?
maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Okay.
Is she laughing?
All right.
A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint.
That's okay. You have the red paint.
It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red
Hey,
and white
cat.
creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya?
Why
I believe
indeed?
Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot
Okay.
ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever. This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
I guess that's true.
There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
Why did you hesitate there? What was with that?
Fifi's bedroom should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
Well, let's go in a little bit.
Sure. Why not build a science lab in the corner of the library?
Why not?
The search for new knowledge, the archiving of old knowledge. It's downright poetic. It's an illustrated book about birds.
Is it?
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
So what does it say?
Ever so slightly unnerving.
The ink dip is a remarkably intelligent bird with a very long lifespan, even among avian mistids. Mistids, eh? Other birds are often aggressive towards it, and the ink dip lives most of its life alone. It has particular feeding habits and usually only eats the seeds of the Tantum amica pictured. Interesting. Does there something happen when you... Oh, that's just like a little zoom. Okay. I think it's just a zoom. What's this one?
A book on the floor.
The blatant disregard of the book's safety by keeping chemicals openly like this angry librarian of
Fundamental entomology.
bugs.
I guess somebody dropped it.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts.
Ooh. Alright.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
Alright.
What's in those bottles?
Got an achievement for that.
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Oh.
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
I'm not sure I learned anything from
I'm
that.
not gonna worry about this yet. Okay. Let's head over to here. Good one. I really like this game. I'm really enjoying it so far. This is Fifi's room.
Fifi's got something
Fifi's
pinned up
room.
here.
What is all this?
Right. Ooh, is this to do with the math thing on the chalkboard?
Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Possibly.
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
Well,
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments. I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
Seems
I'd
like
read
it.
you the ingredients,
You can get comments from Silent Grandma while clicking on the drawings.
but
Ooh,
there's
okay.
nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
Fifi's
What
got
is all this? Who is that?
no idea.
Who is that?
No idea.
We don't know many of these people yet.
Who's that?
Not sure.
That we know this is Flora.
That's gotta be Flora.
Who is
No idea.
I don't think it's gonna. Oh wait, that's.
Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did...
That's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that, do I?
I think that's supposed to be Felix.
Have I played the first one, Detective Grimoire? Yeah, I did it the other day actually. On stream.
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bear.
A new suspect.
What did I think of it? I really loved it.
Don't think you can
it's
get
a
out
short
being questioned
game, but
just
it's really
because
cute
you're
and
a
funny.
bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge.
It was so funny.
It looks like a microscope. A big one.
Can I touch it?
Let's have a look. Ooh, we have a thing.
I'm not sure this is a microscope.
Alright. Horizontally slide the magnifying lenses to the correct positions. Okay, we want to create like a key then, don't we? Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. If okay. Intriguing. Okay. Okay. This is an interesting puzzle. So we're trying to create this shape, obviously, right? But you can like overlap them as well. Get extra zoom. Okay. That feels right. Then that feels weird. Oh, wait, hold on a minute.
I got it.
There you go.
I'm impressed.
All right.
Sounds like it unlocked.
Yeah, it's built on top of a little metal box. There's a book in here.
A secret diary. Ooh. It's locked with a strange metal device. Well then.
Crystal chandeliers. Extra fancy.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me. Plus, they're kind of dusty.
It's a magnifying glass. A big one.
How
Nice.
come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe too?
You couldn't pull off a pipe.
A pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues, not assessing the real estate value.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light.
Sometimes the real estate value is very relevant.
A simple trick, but it really
to the
transforms the
mystery.
space.
Alright. Let's just head back to Fifi for a second, because I want to talk about the secret diary. What do you think of
A
this?
book.
It is?
My book.
Yes, it is.
And what's in it?
Pages.
That's right. Well, not
Do you
very
know
helpful.
who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my
Ah.
mother has not been in the library.
Is that
for
a
some
Shaka
time.
cameo?
Hmm.
Shaka cameo, sorry. He almost made your cat into a into a sea creature. It is a ch sound rather than a sh sound, isn't it? Fighting over ice cream. I mean, obviously. Ice cream is a very important thing to fight over. It is a ch sound. That's what I thought. I want to show you some new stuff.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
Ah, okay.
I've been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
Sure.
Do you paint them yourself, too?
I do indeed. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Is it now?
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Of course, I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower. Safety first and all that.
Whatnot, yes.
Ah, you found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people.
He kind of looks like a llama.
That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's impressive, but a little miserable for my tastes. My daughter Fiona and her best friend, they grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah, yes. I didn't even notice. No idea.
Who's the missing person? That's the
Freya
question.
was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way. Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd. Why would someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they?
All right. Let's do some more exploring. We've covered a whole bunch here. Let's see. Let's go over to this one. Is there anyone in here? The music room. Ah, you must be Poppy. Oh my goodness.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude! Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
She's just a goth girl, that's all, yeah.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
Alright.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days, especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away, definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer. 3.5 hours of piano practice, as soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
Interesting.
What?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that. Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal,
Okay.
but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The 3 of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Let's talk people.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell.
Are these
The
poetry?
spoken word, unfit
Okay.
for dealing.
We're doing poetry
Yet
for
shifting
these ones?
form of feeling, stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space.
All right.
Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some 4 walls make around a room? Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze.
Okay.
Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then.
Any theories
is
so
now.
far? I haven't met everybody, so I don't think I can really make a theory until I know what's going on. The weird thing is the fact that the fact that she was stabbed stood in front of the painting. And the painting is undamaged. Unless the painting was replaced. Question is, how long has Freya been dead for? Is that the painting she was painting? And the colors seem to match. There's no reason to assume it isn't the painting she was painting when...
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
Oh, I still need to talk to her.
I wonder what's in there.
Later. Yeah, I haven't asked about everybody. I didn't mean to...
That's me. I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be kinda cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
So there are 2 families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora's a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the Fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea.
Okay.
There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
Alright.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too... peaceful. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird. When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife, with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything. What was inside?
Nothing.
Huh. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do. It was my mother's originally.
So why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
Okay.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody?
Interesting.
Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly?
Oh, how nice. I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a nightmare.
Huh.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable.
Okay.
Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that? That belongs to Flora, I think.
Okay.
Is that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
That's
I
fair
thought
enough.
you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it.
Interesting.
There's something about that diary we found in Fifi's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
All right. Let's have a look then. Suspicion. Oh, this is like the challenge.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written in here?
and this particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's Fifi's diary, and she has written in it.
It's Fifi's diary, and she has written in it.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It doesn't look unused. It's not a diary at all.
It's not a diary at all.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay,
Me neither.
never mind then.
This
Completely.
particular diary
It doesn't look unused.
It's someone else's diary?
It's
okay.
somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
Do we have this yet? I don't think... Wait, hold on. There's a star shape, maybe. Could be. This?
That's not it.
It's not. Okay. I don't think I have something that... We may need to... It wouldn't prompt the suspicion otherwise. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think what is comparable to this? Oh wait, hold on a minute. It's in the photo. It's in the photo. Ah.
Let's take a closer look at this.
What's the connection between these two clues? This blue book is somewhat similar to the secret diary, which proves it belongs to Freya, right?
This blue book is somewhat similar to the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya. Almost.
Change one
Maybe
thing.
just...
Okay. It's the same thing.
This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room,
Mm.
and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Why indeed? Freya didn't want anyone to see. Secret letter. Wait, hold on. Fifi didn't want anyone to see a secret letter.
Fifi didn't want anyone to see a secret letter within Freya's diary. Almost.
Change one
Maybe
thing.
just change one thing.
Personal secrets?
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something,
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
It's back in the flesh this time. Was it me? Did I let it out? Maybe I should rip up that painting. Soul Barrel works. Impressive little thing. I have 2 now. Need 2 more. Found my way into the middle. Surprisingly simple compared to the harp. I saw them, all 5, eyes blacked out. Despite everything, I still have a promise to keep. I'll do my best. She could do with a little company. Soul Bearer. What does that mean? Keep exploring. Soulbearer sounds like some kind of mystical object of some description. Oh my goodness, hello.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Doesn't like the 4-syllable name, but we'll use a 4-syllable word.
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I'd call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
I love the birds in the background.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz.
Oh.
He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitzfellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
All right.
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see
Excuse me.
Fitz.
Oh,
He's always there. Crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That, and he has a great deal of work to do every day. Watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4. but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think
Character
they
designs are
just
great.
like the company. As do I. Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Okay.
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Really?
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it.
You did?
I must say, I really don't
two
get the
jokes
depth
on
of
the same screen.
self-delusion that he's retreated into.
It happens.
People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. You don't need to.
No, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things. Oh, she's beautiful! Who is she? Wait, is that me?
They're so unimpressed.
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Wow, okay.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like
Right.
one, too.
Wow.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
Interesting. They have beef.
You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest Pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Seems like you do care a little bit.
Finally, I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist.
Wow.
Goodness me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it.
I love her performance.
I'm
It's
sure
great.
I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
Okay.
Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
Oh, that's rather sad. Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable. How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals. Extinct?
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Okay.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one? Well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess, too.
Excellent.
Okay.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
Not just yet.
My little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
Interesting.
Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental. I don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
Wow.
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
Okay. Tell me about this.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today.
Why
I
are
think
they
they
in such a
know
tiny
we're in the
cage?
presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've
All
already
right.
forgotten all 3 of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara
Okay.
has the best sense of rhythm.
That helps.
Glad we
Sure.
cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
All right. Yeah, sure. You do you. I'm going to assume that Grimoire and Sally take Polaroid pictures of the clues to show rather than hauling around, say, an entire stone statue. I would assume so. It's probably like a little sketch or something, or picture or what have you. Is this... This is Penny's room. Oh, it's pretty.
That's some flower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
It's a clue. Brightly coloured flower with an unusual shape. Looks very healthy and well looked after. The soil in the pot looks fresh and moist. It's also an unusual blue colour.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
It's a
Nope.
puzzle.
They're wooden.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
Swap the position of the 7 birds.
Reset the puzzle?
No. Okay. Time for me to hop off. Hope you have fun with this case. No problem. Take care of yourself. But why?
Nope.
There must be some logic to how the birds are arranged. Something to do with those white lines.
The white lines? Okay.
Nothing.
I think the birds are related to each other.
Oh. It's a family tree. Okay. That's it.
I guess that's wrong.
It's a family tree.
That's
you
not
need
it.
to start with blue and yellow at the top.
Yeah, okay, I get it now. Swap these two.
I guess that's
It's a
What do you
family
mean?
tree. You'll need to
Wait,
start
wait,
with blue
hold
and
on. Oh, whoops. Wrong way around. Okay, I got it.
I got it.
I made a mistake.
I'm impressed. Did the door open? What's in there?
Now I'll get her. Oh. Well, that is curious. Red flower petals as well.
A little tea set. Looks recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed.
Let's go quickly talk to Penny again, because I'd like to show you this.
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
I think it might be.
Yes, it's my my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least
I guess
like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
so. Okay. Go back to Poppy real quick.
I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Yeah.
Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No. We found it in Penny's room.
Right. Those petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual.
I don't think it's nothing. I don't think it's nothing. There's something going on there.
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Oh, whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Yeah.
Well, it is the music room. He's got to practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
Ooh. Shiny statue of a strange creature holding a large horn. There's a noticeable crack running along the length of the statue's horn. Inside the horn on the ground below, there are various shards of cracked glass. Tell me about the
Don't
horn.
look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano.
Okay. We need to see Fitz at some point. Oh, this is Poppy's room. Okay.
Just a bunch of clothes on the floor. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there are so many shades of black.
A single red rose. How very traditional.
Yeah, weird.
What's this
It's a
thing?
metronome for keeping time.
It's ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
Use the buttons to rotate all 4 metronome dials to the hoop at the top. Ah, okay. Oh, I see how this works. Okay. So when you click a certain one, they move. So like that makes these ones together. But you know.
That's done it.
That's it.
Neat.
That was nice and simple.
What happened?
A little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. It's a photograph. Part of a photograph.
Ah, it's the last piece. Okay, a young girl with blonde hair and pink clothes. Girl in the photo is using a bright pink cassette player with matching headphones. The rest of the photo shows Fifi and Freya, who's hidden in Freya's room. Yeah, I think this is Poppy's old style.
There's something about that pink cassette tape.
Hydration? Absolutely. I will hydrate. He's a pink pony girl.
Something suspicious.
Stretch.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
Let's go! Oh. I think we can confront her about that. Alright. I had a feeling that her old style was pink, and that might have been why it was cut off.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like
Catco
your
Cam, I
music,
can
to be
do
honest.
that.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
There's a
The
Catco.
tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
It's the ripped photo.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Okay. pink cassette tape. I found that the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
Passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Curiouser and curiouser. Yeah, her hair got real long. Okay. We can explore this room. We still have more people to find, apparently. And there's one of them. The astronomy tower. Who are you?
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Okay.
Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
Who's the voice actor of this guy? Sounds vaguely familiar.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And, of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh, no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh, dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to.
John
I am nothing
Mundelli.
but a humble
Don't
interpreter
recognize
for
the
the
name.
cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
Alright.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars
He's the
began
mafia
to
boss in
appear
a hat and time.
naturally.
Okay.
For how long?
Fair enough.
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
I love the way he does,
Did you
he does
see
his
anything?
fingers. That's funny.
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening.
Okay, I'll take your statement.
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever, then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that. A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
I love what he does
Not
with his
sure.
hands.
She's always been troubled.
It's
Comes
so
from
delightful.
a dysfunctional family. I'd say you could ask her about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a dead end. He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends. Ah yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I
Wow.
dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her. Dangerously intelligent, that one.
You sound jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally.
Okay.
Nobody could deny her talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her, but I think she was captivated by more tangible things here on Earth. My daughter loved her. Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more and more I've begun to notice her by herself, wandering the gardens at the most peculiar hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100
It
times
freaking
over.
intensifies, yeah.
Quite a restless spirit, I think.
I'm thinking.
I'm surprised she chose to live at Tangle Tower as long as she did. I don't especially want to talk about myself. Introspection often leads to vanity.
Wait, does it?
Why don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter instead?
I'm not sure if we have time. Aren't there like
Fifi is
10
pulling
of them?
Vicky and Monster
83.
from.
Yeah, we don't have
okay.
time.
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time,
What do you mean at this moment in
till she
time?
marries the gardener.
Oh.
She'll still be your niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the Pointers and join the Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking ship. My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Because she's a suspect.
Oh no, I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, She loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth. The playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away. She went away.
What does that mean? Alright, we've got a lot of stuff to go through here.
So which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are 2 towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade. Not exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough.
Isn't the process of decay fascinating?
It's
Sure.
not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same. A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone.
Why is that?
The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is. I find that painting to be in rather bad taste.
Oh, yeah?
The knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar.
There is a family tree down the entrance. Maybe we're checking. Oh yeah, I need to check that out. I haven't even done that, have I?
Curious little thing, isn't it?
I'll do that after
You
this.
know what she keeps in there?
Nothing. At the moment. It was empty when we opened it.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
Here's a thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush could be the murder weapon? After all, it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's possible.
Pointer property originally, purloined by the fellows. Typical. I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends. This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know. Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
Great.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
Tis.
Poppy's 2 closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there. These were drawn by Freya? She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put.
Big? Yes. Red? Yes. Thing? Yes. I say he's onto something.
A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary. That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But
I mean,
then,
yeah.
aren't we all trapped in a cage?
Deep.
What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either. Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
I do know. We'll come back here in a moment. Actually, no, I'm going to stay here. I want to just check this room thoroughly, and then we'll go down to the family tree.
With no picture.
Interesting.
You know, I've always
Take care,
wanted one of those.
Truckanero. Nice to see you.
A mechanical solar system? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
Take a closer look then.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
Rotate the 5 planets, the sun and the moon are in the middle. Okay. But why though? And what for? What do you want me to do with this? Oh, hold on. I got it. I get it. The shadows need to match up with this bit. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. That's it.
I got it.
I'm impressed.
That is it.
Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
There's a little hatch underneath? What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
Golden beetle. Nance's exoskeleton, composed of a mineral approximately 90% identical to gold, has a lifespan of several years. It fends off predators with a loud hiss, records of over 95 decibels, and by being completely undigestible. This mist has a somewhat spurious reputation for causing ill fortune to those that see it. Interesting. Tell me about it.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
Interesting. Whoops, I accidentally clicked off the game. Well, that's a bit shady. There's only one more room to explore, but before we go anywhere else, we're going to look at this.
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
Okay.
Lord Fellow.
Looks like he was married twice.
Scandal.
Lady Fellow.
Do these people not have first names?
Selena Stonetop.
No family line. Apparently, she just appeared out of nowhere.
Felicia Fellow.
Freya's mother.
Do you think she still lives here? Freya Fellow.
The murder victim.
She's barely related to the main family at all.
Damien Dusk.
Whoa. Is it too late to change my name to Detective Dusk?
It's Freya's father. Do you think he still lives here?
Flint Fellow.
A purebred fellow, if there ever was one. Married a randomer, though.
Do you think he still lives here? Felix Fellow.
We met him. He's one of the suspects. Emily Everstone.
Wasn't there an Everstone in the last game? Wasn't the murderer Ed Everstone? Also, I just realized I killed the chat on my stream. Echo Everstone. Hold on. Yeah, I looked over at my chat and it wasn't there anymore. I killed the doc on my OBS and I was like, I don't have a chat. Alright, it's back.
Do you think she still lives here? Fitzfellow. Half fellow, half Everstone.
Do you think he still lives here?
We need to meet him at some point.
Flora Remington.
Stanos snapped you. That would only be half of you.
We met her. She's one of the suspects.
Lord Remington.
He sounds important. Lady Remington.
I think I have one of those in my bathroom.
Fiona Fellow. We met her. She's one of the suspects.
Richard Remington.
The one and only. Primrose Remington.
I always liked the name Primrose.
Do you think she still lives here?
Lord Pointer.
This goes back a couple of generations. Lady Pointer.
How do you become a lady? I want to be a lady. Percival Pointer.
Professor Percival Pointer. We met him. He's one of the suspects.
Poppy Pointer. We met her. She's one of the suspects. Pandora Pointer.
All this alliteration isn't happening by accident, is it?
Do you think she still lives here?
Buck Brackley.
What a name.
Do you think he still lives here?
Penelope met her.
Oops.
She is one of the suspects.
Okay. I've got an achievement for that. I'm gonna go back up here for a moment. I'm curious about this.
I'm still not sure about this thing.
Should we take another look?
Still can't be solved yet, but there is
Let's
there
come
is
back.
something interesting about it. Okay, it's still saying no. You need to explore more. I'm gonna go introduce some other stuff to the other suspects real quick.
I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me. You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Did she?
Why?
For fun, obviously.
Freya's room is this one. Is it this?
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a
Come
vivarium.
again?
See the leaves? Might have been for keeping insects.
There's nothing relevant about it though. Might have some new things to introduce to Fifi. And new people.
Name, Percival Pointer. Age, 57. Profession, none.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh, yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me. Name, Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her. Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Yeah, alright.
I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh,
Fair enough.
It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what. Who is this her to whom the message refers?
well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea. Now this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah, you could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate.
Okay. I could introduce some stuff to Penny or... But I want to go over here instead. Stone Square. Ah! Hello. You must be
Wow.
the
Nice cake.
detective.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you, anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya Fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client.
That's a very cool cape.
Clearly,
And the
this
collar is
something
awesome.
which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do.
Alright.
It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception. Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are you...
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so?
Oh.
As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers was one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Yeah.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite. Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of
She has a cool
running,
design.
wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the Fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the Fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled, that much was clear, but sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say.
Okay.
Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
Interesting.
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. 314 cases solved.
That's a lot of cases.
314. Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective. Professor Pointer is a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself.
Okay.
What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse. Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite.
Okay.
Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Huh. I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I was disappointed too. You truly consider this a case file?
Yes.
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried. It was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps? Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no, then. Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not.
There are
I
many ways you
conclude
can describe
whatever
Tangle Tower
stabbed
and its
Freya
residents.
must have been
Ordinary is
brought into
not
the
one
room
of
from
them. I
outside.
agree.
Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking. You got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? A somewhat cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last. I'd tell him not to quit his day job, but he hasn't got one, has he?
Damn.
These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
Out of favorite character so far? I'm not sure yet. I think they're all really great. Although Hawkshaw is already making an impression. She's cool.
I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. A photograph of Freya could be important.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
A book from the library. One of hundreds,
Yeah, Grimoire
no
and
doubt.
Sally are great as
What
well.
makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that. A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would. And you consider that important evidence, do you? These people really are ridiculous, aren't they? Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
What a mystery.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange. Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories. But they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
Okay. Well then. I was expecting to... Oh, no, there he is! I didn't think he was there for a moment. That scared me. Yeesh.
This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
It looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
Ooh. Potted fruit.
That's a handsome beetle.
He's hiding under the webcam. He is, yeah.
Looks like he might have magic powers.
It's just staring. Ugh.
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Yeah, I see him.
He's quite intense,
a
isn't
little
he?
too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right, sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't know.
He's rather muscular for a gardener.
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right. Did you see the lake?
That giant green and
His
purple
face is
lake
just
surrounding the
obscured
entire
by
house.
my camera.
Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a
I'm
byproduct.
sorry about that.
Of what? Poison?
Hold on.
It's not poisonous. Not to
Just,
you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet.
He's there.
Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Oh.
Could you say that again, but like condense it as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA, sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation.
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
Mike Wazowski effect, it's true.
No, I'm just the gardener. I was in my greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And?
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
Did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
I was up in the rooftop garden. It was quiet. And then, it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together. Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to help. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square. When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
Okay. We have a full page of suspects now.
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone. Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed
Any
firmly
theories
within
now?
the realm of materialism. Money,
I am unsure
property.
as of yet.
But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
Although, I mean, I think there's something going on between Fitz and Poppy, perhaps. Because we have that little drawing there. I'm just piecing it together.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know. She questioned me.
About what?
My work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell. She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working, sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, that's... It was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good.
Is it? It seems like there may be some parts of it that aren't good.
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
Alright, let's show him some clues.
Nice painting. Gives you a pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It might seem strange to you, but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric forms.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Let's call it an informed estimation.
Okay.
Who gave you that information?
Well...
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
I see. And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
That looks like it might belong to Poppy. It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
What were they
Interesting.
saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
I don't know. It does look like a knife, but Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her, after the murder. But there's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this position.
Well, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all. She was kneeling on the floor.
Interesting.
It's an egg, with feet.
It was locked, but we opened it, but it was empty.
Fun story. There's something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
Okay.
That belongs to Poppy.
So why is it up in Flora's tower?
I'm not sure. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. Felix made that? Huh. That's quite sweet, really. Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
The
What do you
real
think it's a
thing.
painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting. It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should
Curious.
be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you, in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done?
I guess so.
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried
Oh.
in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks. Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they, like, her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not. A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to. Those petals, they,
What?
they're red.
That they are?
What's with the broken glass?
Any idea who this is?
No idea. I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. It's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing.
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony.
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this
Okay.
shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it.
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow tower.
All
This
right,
could be interesting.
let's go. Brrr. Well, this is very stock.
It's a little handmade card. Someone's drawn a heart on the front. Inside it says, "To Fitz, from PP."
Now, is it from Poppy or Penny?
That poor plant.
Looks pretty healthy to me.
Healthy, but sad. I think it would rather be outside.
An empty glass and an empty plate.
Looking at it is making me want to cry.
Why?
I don't know. Hello.
Not hidden very well, is it?
Doesn't need to be. It's a combination lock.
Okay.
Sort of.
Rearrange the paper. Find the combination. That works. I think. We got a droplet there. Can we rearrange them in other ways, though? Oh, we can. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, how delightful. Okay, and then we just need to figure out this one. No, that's not right. What's the last shape we could make? I kind of want to put something here. No, but that's not it. No. We've done that one as well. Aha! That's it.
There we go.
Perfect. Anything in there?
Yeah, it's wrapped in a cloth. Hold on. Huh, that's kind of ominous.
A trowel. PP loves FF.
Oh, wow.
What?
It's a big empty space. There's someone outside the window.
Something outside the window. It's probably just a rock.
You sure? It's locked, but it leads outside.
I thought we were halfway up a tower.
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
If I had the lid open. Then move the tiles into the correct slots. Okay.
Nothing.
The tiles have all got that same sun symbol on them.
Those moon symbols in the slots. Are they connected?
Maybe they're connected, but also not connected.
Okay.
Nope. It's not budging.
Maybe the information we need isn't here.
So where is it?
Somewhere else. Let's come back once we know what to do.
Yeah. There's got to be a hint for that one elsewhere. Okay, we've explored all the places we can for the time being anyway. She didn't tell us any information. Let's go give some more information to the people we talked to previously.
Fitz? I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never commits to anything. Brain like an onion.
Like an onion?
Onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman.
Okay.
Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine, supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item. Something called the Golden Beetle.
Is that right?
Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You reckon?
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
Because I would have heard of it.
Sure.
Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon? Is he the murderer?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival. Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger. Always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile.
Okay.
Poppy's a good friend to my daughter, always has been. I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to. That looks like it might belong to Fitz.
Okay.
Goodness me! Now this is still in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning. Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue. What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold.
All right. Yeah, sure.
That looks like it might belong to Fitz.
All right.
I've never seen that before. Looks valuable.
I'm gonna go to Fitz actually. It's so weird to see him hiding in the.
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah,
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
Okay.
I'll say this, he's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse, but I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers
Okay.
in secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth? This is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
I
It's
don't know.
sharp.
I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around.
With surging tide, the waves are thrown. An entity of
If
all
gemstones
its
could be
own.
grown, they'd lose value quickly.
On
That
its
is also true.
surface, you
Yeah.
may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will.
Curious.
Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart.
It's really put the
to
tangle in my
nature's
tower.
way.
I know, right?
Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether, slowly fraying, floating, helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet. Feathers flashing in the light, from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh. Never
Hydration?
seen him
I will
use
do
it.
that. Thank you, Pego. I've listened to all of Poppy's poems, apparently. How delightful. Got an achievement for it.
Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
Alright, damn.
She's a most unsavory little... She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Oh, okay.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that? Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion, I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide?
This is very weird thing to say
Okay,
about your
so
fiance. Yeah.
what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea. Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps.
Hmm.
I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Ooh, delightful.
Starting to kind of
More
piece
of a
some things together.
gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right.
I guess she gave it to him then. I feel like I must be missing a puzzle somewhere. I'm gonna go back into here and see if there's there's something.
A little chart of, actually, I have no idea what it's about.
It's alchemical symbols or something?
Greek letters, I think.
Every puzzle has an answer. Well,
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot. Hanging baskets. They're so high up.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches taller than me.
2 inches makes all the difference.
Tools. Used by a gardener. For gardening.
okay. Okay, so in terms of puzzles, we've got we've got this.
It's locked.
I thought
We
were...
are.
What's that thing by the handle?
Ooh, I have a thought.
Let's come back once
I have a thought. Both of these are linked to this middle room.
A big glass door leads out into a garden. Somehow.
There's a little mechanism.
Aha! Okay. Suns. I think the moons are like this. And then the suns will be... Okay.
I guess we'll come back later.
I may have gotten it the wrong way around, but we'll see.
It's locked.
I thought...
We are.
What's that thing by the...
Okay, so... It's like that, right?
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. And the door's still locked.
I still feel like we made some sort of progress.
We need to do the other side, I think.
A big glass leads out.
There's a little mech...
Is it that pattern or is it the other way around?
Something happened.
That must be it. Finally, it's open.
Whatever's on the other side better be worth it.
Let's go! This looks like an important thing. The rooftop garden.
Giant stone frog. Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Ooh. 4 feathers.
There's something
Interesting.
about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Not right now.
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
It's another.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue, and they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Okay. I've got an achievement for looking at all them.
More egg statues.
I don't get it. Why eggs?
Well, either they have some special significance, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make. More egg statues.
I don't get it.
Well, or an egg has got to be the easy.
Uh-huh. Well, considering that I've been streaming for 3 hours, I think I'm probably going to leave it there. Although I am planning to continue this tomorrow. So, stay tuned for that. We'll be playing more Tangle Tower. I'm really enjoying this so far, and it's a really interesting mystery, and definitely less simple than the first one. I know the simplicity of the first one was bad, but I'm liking that this one is taking things a step further. Tangle Tower. What time tomorrow? Same time. 7 p.m. GMT. Yeah, 7 p.m. GMT. So glad you enjoyed this game. I'm really having a good time. This is actually one of the things that was from last year's Game Blast that I'm finally getting around to. I think I just need to push myself to stream more. Like Kat, you were saying, I've gone from 0 to 100. I just need to set time aside and go, I'm going to stream this day. And then just do it. I need to just do it. It's that easy. This is a very peaceful garden. I like it a lot. Oh, God. Ooh.
A stone pillar.
Oops.
What's left of it?
All right. I'm assuming it just autosaves. Very excited for the sequel. I will definitely play the sequel when it drops. Okay, everybody. Right. Yeah. Thank you all for watching today. I think Weird might still be going for a little bit longer as of yet. So, we'll send a raid over to Weird. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Tangle Tower. But until then, all the best. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll see you very soon. Oh, how exciting. I'm really enjoying this playthrough. Good night, everybody.